Megan Fox.
Yeah, Megan Fox has the story.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox writes at PJ Media.
Eat Tucker.
And that was your last.
Damn it, man. I cried for 2 days.
Megan, thank you very much for that.
So, I can explain the bed thing.
If you don't show up and vote, up your ass. I don't care if you're in the hospital. Crawl to the stake. Crawl there.
It's like Jesus going into the temple. He's like, I got a whip. Get out! Get out! The lovely and wonderful Megan Fox. Not that one.
Not that one. Not the weird one that drinks blood in his toe thumb.
Megan Fox.
Megan. And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry.
She's the devil.
Megan Fox. Megan Fox.
I've been very nice to you, although I could probably maybe not be based on the way you have treated me, but I wouldn't do that.
You've never met a like me. You want to tangle? You want to go? Holy sh!
Too much cussing on this. I guess we didn't bleep it, so we got to turn it off. But it's
You pissed off the wrong woman.
oh my God, I have been assaulted, but Megan Fox runs wild on you, brother.
She's the devil.
Not for publication.
The story.
I'm Megan Fox. Thank you. Cheers.
Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to the show. It's me, Megan Fox. I got my hair done. Isn't it fabulous? I really like it. I'm happy with it. Where the heck is my? Oh, there it is. I'm in a jazzy mood today. How you doing? Can you hear me okay? How's the volume? I have been messing around with the audio again. I can't help myself. I keep touching the buttons.
That's what she said.
And IT Goatee Brad says, you look much better when you're not Sally Smith. Yeah, that was a unfortunate foray into stage makeup, wasn't it? Actually, we're going to play a clip from that because that's what we're talking about today. So I noticed while we were doing the dependency hearing that we have like, oh wait, what did I just do? Never mind. Okay. During the dependency hearing, we have a question that came up. Sally Smith, during the dependency hearing on November 8th, was called to the stand to testify on behalf of DCF. Squid, go ahead and make the meme. You know I can laugh at myself. It is a terrible script. I mean, but then again, I was, it's like Saturday Night Live. I was playing a character. I was playing Sally Smith, so I needed to be as ugly as possible because this woman has hatred written all over her face. So I tried. I tried my hardest. We may bring her back. I may take that act on the road. I mean, it's funny. It's funny. Anyway, I'm going to play a clip of that because something came out during the dependency hearing that I believe Sally Smith actually told the opposite story during the civil trial. Now, that would be called perjury. Now, don't get all excited. Absolutely nothing will happen to her. if she did commit perjury. She didn't. I mean, I don't know if she did or not. We're going to find out. I don't mean she didn't. I mean, nothing will happen to her because they have Chapter 39 immunity. Anything that happened in that dependency case can't be prosecuted, can't be sued, nothing. Phoebe says, your hair looks stunning. New haircut. Yes. And I got my color done. And it's my favorite type of color. I did the highs and lows, highlights and lowlights throughout the whole head to cover up the grays. And I got a good chunk of it cut off. So it feels really good. And I had her blow it out. So it's going to be great for like a week. And then we'll go back to the curls at that point. So anyway, do you like my new shelf? Look, Mr. Fox bought me a shelf so I could put my books and my picture of me in Rush back there. Isn't that fun? All right. Anyway, enough about me. So during the juvenile hearing, now if you guys have missed this, on this channel, me and my friends have been going over we've been doing dramatic readings of the juvenile hearing process in the Maya Kowalski case. Now, this is very important. Now, we've had a lot of laughs. Believe me, we are laughing our asses off at these people because they're so awful. And what else can you do in the face of evil but find something to laugh at, or we'd all go crazy. And so we are having, there's many opportunities to laugh. But something very serious was found in the November 8th hearing. So let me share that little section, that little portion of what I found while reading through the transcript. It's in Biggin. Let's go back to the beginning. This is me reading as Sally Smith.
Medical staff at All Children's. Oh, I'm active medical staff at All Children's. I'm active. Let me just repeat that one more time.
Should embiggen it and highlight it.
Let me repeat that one more time from Sally Smith. I am active medical staff at All Children's. Her own words, folks.
So attractive.
Her own words.
Don't worry, we buried that Dracula.
Oh, active medical staff at All Children's, and
Wow.
So I can see the Leaf 12.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to stop you right there before we get to the records because you just done fucked up there, son. Avon.
Yep.
All right. So now she says it multiple times. And in fact, I have a screenshot of this transcript. Let me see if I can bring that up because I did take a screenshot of it because I don't remember her admitting to being active medical staff at J-Hatch during the civil trial. Do you? Do you remember that? By the way, that was a voice changer I was using. If you want to hear, I should bring that back. That voice changer is so funny. Where is it? Oh, there it is.
Hold on.
This is my Sally Smith voice, and frankly, I think it's awesome. Just like me, who never makes a mistake.
So that was that was the voice mod. Voice mod is a lot of fun. Okay. Yeah, Catherine says no. I'm sure she said the opposite. Tiny Tina says, Megan, actually, I think your Sally Smith looks better than Sally Smith herself. Oh no. I don't know. It was pretty bad. All right. So let me go to where I have a screenshot of this because I took a couple. Let's open it up, shall we? So as I start, okay. So here's the screenshot. How do I get this bigger? Embiggen? There we go. All right. Let me share this. And let's read it, shall we? All right. The letter A symbolizes the witness, so that would be Sally Smith. And she says, well, we'll just do it in Sally's voice, shall we?
I was originally called by the critical care physician on October 8th, 2016.
And so the Sunday would be the 9th?
I believe so.
So on October 9th, what did you do when the referral was made to you?
So, as I started to say, I have access to the All Children's medical records as an active staff member. And I started looking at the records that were in her file to that point and started making a list of medical records that I needed to request.
So at that point, do you recall what records were available in her file? Was it just All Children's Hospital records or were there other records?
At that time, the All Children's records included some outside medical records from Lurie Children's Hospital that had been requested the previous July.
All right. So that's that. She says she was active medical staff at All Children's. Now, I'm just not sure that that was the language that she used in the civil trial, and I want to rewatch some of her testimony, specifically the cross, um, to hear what she had to say there. Now, here's another thing that I took a screenshot of during that hearing, which I believe she may have contradicted herself on also. She's talking about ketamine here, and for some reason they've blocked out ketamine for the jury. I don't know why. But here's what she had to say about ketamine in the juvenile trial.
One of the advantages to ketamine over other things like opiates is not necessarily that it's not addictive, but it does not cause respiratory suppression as the opiates do.
Is she saying here that it's not addictive? Because didn't they actually say that it is addictive? Wasn't that their big thing about why they were so worried about her being on it because it was addictive? Is that what this sentence says? Stephanie, I see you're in the chat. Stephanie. Stephanie, can you understand this sentence? One of the advantages to ketamine over other things like opiates is not necessarily that it's not addictive. She means it's not addictive, right? She just means that that's not the best thing about it. The best thing about it is that it doesn't cause respiratory suppression. Again, you're saying I'm wrong? Are you saying I'm reading that wrong? Am I reading that wrong, Stephanie? Stephanie, can you get in here? Are you busy? You're probably working. If you're not working, you should come in here and watch this with me. You're saying you think she's saying it's addictive, but it doesn't cause respiratory suppression. I don't know. That's not how I'm reading it. One of the advantages to ketamine over other things like opiates is not necessarily that it's not addictive. It's that it's not addictive. Not necessarily that it's not addictive. Is that a double negative? What are we doing here? I think I mean, okay, this is it's a confusing sentence because I think you could read it both ways. Anyway, this wasn't the major thing I wanted to talk about today. Yeah, is it not that it's not addictive? If she's saying it's not addictive, then that means it's addictive, but why wouldn't she say it's addictive, but it doesn't cause respiratory suppression? Because we have conflicting statements all over the place about ketamine being addictive or not. Replace not with isn't. All right. Is not necessarily that it isn't addictive. I still don't get it. Double negative, purposeful confusion. Maybe. This is a very strange. It's a very strange sentence, and I'm having a hard time understanding what she means here. All right, but this isn't really what I wanted to talk about today, but I did see that as another issue that kind of popped out at me. But what I want to talk about is this thing about her being active staff. I don't remember her saying that at the trial. Okay, so what we're going to do is, if you have some time with me to hang out with me, because I don't know the answer to this question. I honestly want to find out with you live. I have not re-listened to the testimony, but I think that I found the place where it might start being relevant, where Greg Anderson on day 24 is questioning her. And I think we're going to get to that part. So let's get to day 24. I'm going to start at the 2 hour and 11 minute mark. Right before, like right here. And I think this is when we're going to get into her status and why she was doing these things.
Of 2016. There was no.
Oh, wait, let me slow it down because I have it on. I was trying to find it today, but you know, there's a lot of stuff. So let's investigate this together, shall we? And I'm being totally honest where I'm saying I don't remember her saying that. Maybe she did. Maybe she admitted to being active staff, but I feel like there was this very large argument about whether she was active staff or just working there for DCF. Oh, this is a great idea. Mrs. K. Griff says, do you have Greg Anderson's laugh as a button? Because if not, you need one. Yes, I totally do. I need that so bad.
Mr. Anderson.
I've got that one, but I got to get Greg's laugh on a button. That would be fantastic. Yeah, great idea. Let me write that down. Button ideas. I still have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have like 15 buttons left open. So that would be funny. Greg's laugh. Okay, let's start listening and see if we can find out if she told the truth, if she said she was active staff or not during this trial, like she did in the juvenile trial.
No active state investigation of the Kowalskis.
Wait, let me back.
There's no 8th. Between, you're aware that on October 8th of 2016, there was no active state investigation of the Kowalskis.
I'm not sure exactly when the report was made, but I think at least part of the day on the 8th, that is correct. It was either late that day or the following morning. I found out about the case the following morning. So the 9th. Yes.
So what were you doing accessing Maya Kowalski's private confidential medical records on the 8th if you were just part of the child protection team and there was no investigation?
I was doing so under HIPAA's what's called TPO exception to the confidentiality guidelines, which allows for
Objection, move to strike for legal conclusion as to what the statute says.
All right, wait a minute. What was that? IT Goatee was distracting me. What was her answer that he didn't like? Hold on, I'm going to go back and hear that again. Oh, don't give me the spinny wheel. No spinny wheel. No, no, no. It wasn't doing that to me a second ago. Why are we spinning now? Come on. Move it along here, people. I know, isn't the voice so spot on, you guys? It really is. And I just kind of did that by memory. I used a voice mod where I could make the
medical records
thing go up and down.
On the 8th, if you were just part of the child protection team and there was no investigation.
I was doing so under HIPAA's what's
I was doing so under HIPAA's.
It's pretty on.
Called TPO exception to the confidentiality guidelines, which allows for
Objection, move to strike for legal conclusion as to what the statute says.
Oh, okay. So he didn't like that was like a legal thing. No, that doesn't work. Oh, I have the wrong setting on for it to work. Okay, here. I have to be here for it to work. There we go. There's some sort of HIPAA exception she was claiming that's why she was in there. I can't believe we're going to have this spinning wheel. I need to be able to fast forward through the breaks and stuff. Come on, Twitter. I mean, YouTube. I don't know. I get my things mixed up. Let's move forward. With that dark blue eyeshadow. Next time I do Sally, I'm going to have to do some of that and that really dark eyeliner. My hair is almost the right color though now. Look, my hair is kind of similar. I mean, it's a much better cut, but it is similar. Oh, wait, I'm in the wrong. How do I get back to where I was? There we go. Move forward. All right, here we go.
I'm going to sustain the objection, Mr. Anderson. You can re-ask the question, and we'll get to a break in just a couple minutes. Mr. Anderson, within 5 minutes, we need to take a break.
So true or false, you accessed Maya Kowalski's medical records on the 8th.
I did.
Prior to that, you did not contact Jack or Beata Kowalski. True or false?
Correct.
Is it not true that you often walk in after?
Mr. Anderson, if you're going to a different,
I am.
Then why don't we take the break now?
All right, now we have to move
Members of the
forward.
jury,
We have to move forward to 227. I hated that the judge cut him off right there because he was just about to get into what we want to hear about. Like, don't you often walk into rooms, pretending to be medical staff?
5-inch notebooks having to be.
All right, this is before the jury comes in.
You have to look at them.
They're arguing about the notebooks.
You got it.
All right, here comes the jury.
Have you seen any media? My name, last name, and myself.
Plaintiff yields to the jury's questions.
Well, it goes back to Mr. Hunter now.
Oh, Chris Rowland, thanks for bringing it up. We need way more people to smash that like button. Otherwise, Jesus will get tossed into the dumpster again. Do it. Hit the like button. Or are your thumbs broken? I mean, that's the only excuse I would accept.
About your access to the medical records when Dr. Teppa Sanchez called you?
Yes.
Was that as a result of your being asked to consult on a case by a fellow medical staff member?
Correct.
Is that customary, typical?
Yes, and
Objection, foundation, and predicate for that.
Well, the answer yes remains.
Your duties as the medical director of the child protection team, the CPT, if we can
yes,
use that the shorthand folks usually use.
that's the usual. Yes.
Okay. Is part of your, do you understand part of your statutory duties with the CPT to follow patients who are sheltered under a child abuse investigation?
My understanding and my responsibility is to provide whatever assistance is requested from the investigators, law enforcement, and attorneys that are involved in the case. So that, yeah, I think I'll leave it there.
Okay. And I think I better leave it there. Have we ever spoken?
I believe, I might be wrong, I believe you were at one of my 5 depositions, but other than that, I knew of you when I worked at the hospital, but otherwise, no, to my recollection, no.
Have we ever discussed this case?
No.
Have you ever discussed this case with anyone from my office?
No.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Anderson, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Members of the jury.
All right, the jury is now going to submit questions. Let's hear what those are. Oh, spinning wheel of death. All right, while the wheel is spinning, let's go over some super chats. Thank you so much, Matt. Bond says, I had a 36-year experience, forensic handwriting expert. Look at juror number 1's note. It in no way hints to what the defense says. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it does either. I haven't checked the court docket this morning. I wonder if there's anything new. I know the plaintiffs were working on their response. Julie O, thanks for the $5. Oh, I forgot to give you your ching, Matt. There we go. Julie, thanks for the $5. Unrelated, but were you still on Spaces yesterday when Vivek took a leak unmuted? No, I wasn't. I missed it. And I tried to go back and listen, but I fell asleep. I was so tired yesterday. I'm having a neck flare up and my neck is really in bad shape. So I've been laying down and falling asleep a lot more than I normally do. That's what happens when I'm in pain. Duncan, Idaho, thanks for the super chat. This lady is the worst in Jean Ralphio's singing voice. The worst. I don't know who Jean Ralphio is, or I would try and do that better. Why is this still doing this? I don't have a ton of things open. I don't know why this is happening, but we are at 236.56. Let me refresh. Let's go back to 236. There we go.
Mr. Anderson, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Members of the jury.
All right, let's see if we can go fast forward a little bit because they're going to discuss, and then they're going to come back with the questions. Here we go. Thanks for the super sticker, Lynn. Appreciate that.
Okay, Dr. The presence of the jury. Okay. Have you had a conversation with a nurse, Bonnie Rice, from Tampa General Hospital?
Back in the time of this case, yes.
When was that conversation, to the best of your recollection?
Um,
And a month and a year is fine. Purpose of this question.
I would say
Let's speed this up a little bit.
October into November, late October, early November 2016.
Was there any conversations, to the best of your recollection, between you and Bonnie Rice in calendar year 2015 about Maya Kowalski?
No.
Okay. I'm going to ask you those two questions first, and then I'm going to ask you the rest of the jury questions.
Okay.
Let's bring in the jury.
All right. I didn't quite go far enough, but we'll just wait for the jury to come in. I will speed it up maybe a little bit more until we get there.
Okay, please be seated, members of the jury. I want to confirm while you're away, you did not discuss this case amongst yourselves. You did no investigation and received no information. Is that all correct? Correct. That you haven't seen any media reports of this case. Is that correct? Correct. No one approached you. Is that correct? Outside of Dr. Smith's presence, I went through the jury's questions. I'm going to be able to ask a good number of them, but not all of them. Dr. Smith, have you had a conversation with a nurse, Bonnie Rice, from Tampa General Hospital in connection with Maya Kowalski?
She's a nurse practitioner, but yes.
When approximately was that conversation?
I'm pretty sure it was in late October, early November of 2016.
Have you had any conversations with nurse practitioner Rice in calendar year 2015 with respect to Maya Kowalski?
No.
Next question. Do you know why it is the hospital's policy to contact you first instead of reporting the suspected abuse to the child abuse hotline?
It's an unusual situation, and because of the way that the whole system is set up in Florida and they have to file a report for me to do a medical evaluation, sometimes they're not sure what to do. And so in those occasional situations, I'm going to say once or twice a year, a doctor from All Children's would call me to ask me a question about the case that they were involved in and request my expertise related to the child abuse and neglect question that they had.
Correct me if I am wrong. There is no harm in contacting the hotline prior to contacting an expert first.
I'm sorry, can you?
Sure. Correct me if I am wrong. There is no harm in contacting the hotline prior to contacting an expert first.
The only situation would be if there potentially wasn't really enough evidence or whatever to justify a report. So otherwise, no, I mean, typically the report gets made before I, as an expert, would be involved, almost all the time.
How would CPT normally access the medical records?
So I always would access them through my remote access that's granted as a member of the active medical staff. If it was a child protection team, say from Sarasota County, that the person didn't have privileges at All Children's, then what they would have to do would be to, submit a request for the records to the hospital to obtain those records.
Does the county child protection team have access to medical records normally without privileges?
Oh, here we go. This could be
Only
it.
because, well, not like I do with it's an electronic access. Another team or somebody besides me would have to make that request. And there's statutory language that requires the hospital to provide those records in the furtherance of the investigation. So they can get them, but they can't just log in and see them as easily as I can.
Are the physicians that are part of the child protection team required to have privileges at a hospital to provide a medical assessment?
I'm pretty sure that is correct. So mine's easy because they're just in one hospital. Other teams, like say, for example, in Miami, I think the medical director probably has to have privileges at Jackson Memorial and Miami Children's in order to go in and see the child. But I'm honestly not sure because it's not my situation. So I don't know exactly what the rule is with that. I think probably they have to have privileges, but I'm not sure.
So if yes, do the privileges grant access to the patient's medical records?
Yes. So as part of our credentialing, we get re-credentialed every 2 years. We have to do like certain, HIPAA training about medical records. There are rules about which ones you can and can't access. It's pretty closely watched and monitored. And so, I can do that in my role as the medical director of the child protection team. And on these occasional situations where they call me separately because they're not sure what to do and need child abuse pediatrician expertise, I can do it in that role as a member of the medical staff.
Okay, so she does say she's a medical staff. She's on the medical staff. This is why I don't understand how on earth do we get the argument that she's not on, but she's not on, she's not employed by JHAT. She's not connected to them. She's not an agent of them, but she can call herself a member of active staff. All right. So possibly, this maybe is not perjury because she said it in the juvenile court and she said it on the stand here. But then why the big argument about how she's connected to the hospital, right? This is crazy. You think it's Howard Hunter's redirect? What's his redirect? There is a difference between being staff and having privileges, but she's calling herself active staff. Well, she just did. I would say she just did call herself active medical staff. Remember when she said it's threading the needle? Because there's a part where she talks about how it's threading the needle. Yes, it's confusing. Well, I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter because the jury decided that she was an agent of JHAT. But she's staff and she has privileges. Well, doesn't all staff have privileges? Kelly says, I think Greg missed this point. All right, well, let's see what else happens here because I seem to remember there was some more arguing about threading that needle between how she's connected to the hospital. Kelly says she needed to wait, hold on. She needed to say she was privileged to not be connected to directly, that she had the privilege, but she just admitted to being active staff. So is it the defense that misled the jury because she's on the stand saying I'm active staff? You can have privileges and not be employed by the hospital. Well, right, she's not getting paid by the hospital. But the whole argument is, was she part of the staff or not? And was she presenting herself as part of the staff? Because patients like Maya and her parents believed she was part of the staff. And she's saying, I was part of the staff. But so we think that the defense did a worse job misleading the jury than even Sally did then. Interesting. All right, let's see. What else? I feel like there was more questioning about that. So let's keep going. Oh, for crying out loud. Why does this keep doing this? Come on, you can do it, YouTube. Come on.
Standard for a child protection team physician to offer recommendation to a child's treating physician in a suspected child abuse case.
With regards to potentially certain tests or certain needs of the court, yeah. So for example, if I'm seeing a child that has a bunch of injuries and they need a follow-up brain scan, I can make that recommendation to the team. Could you please do a brain scan on such and such date? And typically they're going to do what I ask them to do in terms of that, because it's something I need for the purposes of the investigation and to assist all the various people involved to make a good decision in the case. So I think that answers probably.
Who made the referral to your child protection team for the evaluation?
The child protective investigator called our person called case coordinator that was on call, or was the designated person to receive what they call intakes. So when there's an investigation that's been initiated, particularly in a case like this where there's a major medical component, then the child protective investigator calls the child protection team, and one of these case coordinators, or we actually had a person that they called an intake coordinator, takes the information, kind of reviews everything, and then that person would contact me.
Don't spin. All right, here are a couple of your comments that I think are interesting. Freedom Ring says she's not a lawyer. Staff is not a legal term, different from employee or agent, which have independent legal significance. Staff is a generic layperson term. Okay, that's a decent point. Legendary
Say,
Racing.
Smith, we need you to go down and see such and such child at the hospital.
Technically,
when you told Dr. Dees
hold
to
on.
get Maya off as many meds as possible, did you know that was already in progress prior to telling Dr. Dees to do so?
I did not.
Do you still have medical privileges at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital?
Yes, I still have active medical staff privileges there.
Oh, she said it again. Active
And
medical
all the
staff
questions that I'm
privileges.
gonna be able to ask. So, Mr. Hunter, you now have the floor, sir.
Active medical staff privileges.
Could I have trial exhibit 2408-1739 in evidence?
What's the number?
2408, what is that?
Legendary Racing
Take
says,
that down,
technically, it's not if she was hospital staff, it's if a reasonable person could think she was. And this whole debate proves a reasonable person could think that. Well, yeah, the jury decided that for sure. Miss M. Lee says, yes, correct, Megan. She can be active, but my guess would be that as a member of Suncoast, privatized by Judge Hayworth, she would have privileges.
Okay, you lost me again. Wait a minute. This is a, for your edification, Doctor, this is an email from Beata Kowalski dated 12 October 2016. And I'm going to ask that you go to page 1739, the following page. And then the midway through the second full paragraph on that page, there's a indications Tuesday, 10/11 evening, I had another supersized visit from MD Dr. Smith, who was sent by CPS to investigate this case. Would that have been about the time that you spoke with Mrs. Kowalski, the author of this email?
Yes, that's exactly what, and she says an hour and a half. So just like I said earlier, that was that evening that I came down and talked with her.
Okay. There was reference to the EEG video that was taken of this patient.
Yes.
Have you ever reviewed it?
I don't believe so. It's possible at the time I looked at a few minutes of it, but I don't think so.
Were you aware of any indication on that video of Maya Kowalski defecating or urinating upon herself?
I had no idea if that was true or not, frankly.
Did you ever hear any indication of that? Any
No.
suggestion of that in real time?
No.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes, Council.
So I'm just trying to figure out now how they had the nerve to try to separate her from the staff when she admits herself that she's part of the active medical staff. I mean, right? It's weird that I didn't remember that though. I really did not remember her saying that during her testimony. I remembered her kind of dancing around it. So I guess what I need to figure out now is who is changing the definition of active medical staff. Was it the defense attorneys doing that, where they're arguing to the jury that she's not really a member of the staff, but this Suncoast person? But that, boy, now that I have seen both of these things, so the juvenile hearing and now her testimony here, which matches, okay, not perjury. She said the same thing at both trials. How the hell did they implant the idea, even in my head, that she wasn't active medical staff? How did they do that? How did they do that? I want to know how they described her, and where would that be? In the closing arguments? Ed says, Megan, the whole thing about staff or not staff is what authority she was working under. If she is staff of JHatch, then they were overstepping their bounds. If she was not staff and working for CPS, yeah, I mean, it was the accessing of the records before there was even an investigation, and she used her staff privileges at JHatch to do that. So that was improper. Southern Take says, I sent you a link on X. It covers her status there. Last try now. I just was looking for it, but I don't see it. Did you send it in direct messages or you just tagged me in it? Oh, I see. Wait, I think I see it. Is it the article, Where is Dr. Sally Smith from Take Care of Maya Now? Ah, all right. This is interesting. Hold on. Let's look at this. All right, we can move the twat waffle. Hold on. All right, where is Dr. Sally Smith from Take Care of Maya Now? Johns Hopkins doctor's status explored. The Netflix documentary Take Care of Maya was released on June 19th, 2023, and explored the medical malpractices by Dr. Sally Smith. It showed, well, no, not really. They weren't accusing Sally Smith of medical malpractice. They were accusing Johns Hopkins the other doctors of that. I don't know. Were they going after Sally Smith for medical malpractice? I feel like this is maybe not accurate. It shows the Kowalski family going through a tough journey, revealing the issues and struggles the system is dealing with concerning child abuse allegations. Where is this, by the way? This is on a website I don't recognize. SK Pop, some kind of pop culture website. This heart-wrenching story focuses on Dr. Sally Smith, an experienced doctor at the Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. The Kowalski family's lives will never be the same because of Dr. Smith's choices and decisions. As the audience tries to wrap their heads around the emotional aftermath of this documentary, many unanswered questions pop up about where Dr. Sally Smith stands now and what kind of consequences her involvement in Maya's case might have had. Dr. Sally Smith is now reportedly retired, but is still connected to Johns Hopkins. I believe Johns Hopkins doesn't want to get rid of her association with them because they refuse to admit that they were wrong.
Wrong.
So amid all the chaos in Take Care of Maya, there's a big question. Is Dr. Sally Smith still working? A recent report by The Cut suggests that Dr. Smith decided to retire on her own after a long and influential career. However, she is still somehow connected to Johns Hopkins Hospital. Yeah, she's still on their website, which has got people curious and looking into it. Both the websites of Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital and the Bayfront Medical Center still have her listed as an independent practitioner, which just goes to show how complicated her professional status is after retirement. This makes us wonder what responsibilities and duties she still has as a retired medical professional. The legal drama surrounding Dr. Sally Smith and the Kowalski case just keeps getting more interesting. In December 2021, Dr. Smith and her employer, Suncoast Advocacy Services, reached a settlement worth $2.5 million with the Kowalskis. While this settlement does bring some sort of resolution for the Kowalski family, their legal battle is far from over. The Kowalskis are still going after Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, wanting them to take responsibility for what happened to Maya and her mother. Okay, blah, blah, blah. What else? Review bombed. People were giving her a hard time online and leaving bad reviews everywhere. The public was so mad about what they learned in the documentary, they took it out on Dr. Smith, criticizing her choices and how they affected the Kowalski family. Well, I think we could say she made a lot of mistakes. What else? All right. I don't think I learned anything I didn't know. Is that the one? Is that the thing you sent? Okay. I'm not sure I learned anything I didn't already know from that, but okay. Let me make sure that was the only thing. Hold on. All right. Time to do, okay, here's the thing. Hold on. Share. I'm just curious as to how did the defense argue that she wasn't part of the staff? All right, hold on. Move forward. By the way, I made a map of the trial because I'm always looking for things.
I'm going to ask that you be back at 1.
I'm always looking for things in the trial. Like I want to go back and look for stuff, and I couldn't find what I was looking for because I didn't have like a map of, so I made one. Oh, wait, where did it go? No, go back. I want to show you. I made a map of the trial so that we know everything that happened on each day. So I have all the days written out and all the people who were testifying that day. And I have realized that there were some testimonies that I didn't get to see. And I'm thinking that at some point I'm going to go over them and watch them with you because I didn't see some of them. I missed them. Like I missed Paul Kornberg's deposition during the defense case. I didn't see that. I think I made notes on other stuff I didn't see, but there's a couple of them. Yeah, this one, Neuberger. So I didn't watch Greg reading Dr. Neuberger's deposition, which I totally want to see. Maybe we'll do that today if we have time. All right, let me go back over here. All right, they're going on a lunch break, I think. Oh, and are they gonna do her proffer right now? Because that was interesting too.
1, 2, 2,
I think they're gonna do her proffer, which got heated.
A proffer for a
Yeah.
potential appellate record. And
Yeah, here it
do is
comes.
Some kind of conclusory questions and some summary questions to avoid you're having to sit here for a long afternoon. And
I do want to say, I do believe that Sally Smith believes all the things she's saying. I get the impression that she is not, that she really thinks she's done the right thing. I don't know. What do you guys think?
and all of us the same way.
Okay.
In the process of your investigation of the Maya Kowalski case, after it was referred to you, did you conduct an investigation? Did you gather some medical records?
I did a medical evaluation, including gathering a lot of medical records. Yes.
Okay. And did you, in fact, promulgate 2 different reports?
Yes.
Regarding that. One was a preliminary report in October of 2016.
October 13th. Correct.
Okay. And the other was one signed December 2nd, 2016.
Correct.
Do those reports both indicate the results of your investigation and review to that date?
Yes.
Okay. And in connection with your report in your investigation, did you obtain certain medical records regarding Maya Kowalski?
Yes.
And does your report, does a report you signed December 2nd, 2016, fairly and accurately reflect the records that you gathered and then reviewed for your report?
Up until that time, yes.
Okay. And then were there subsequent records you reviewed after that, after you received after that date?
Yes.
And does your report first of October, I think you said 13th, 2016?
Yes.
Does it fairly and accurately reflect your conclusions up to that date?
Yes.
Okay. And that would, if we were to walk through that report and what it was based upon, would your indication be that it contained and fairly reflected the outcome and your conclusions of your investigation up to October 13th, 2016?
Yes.
And would it also reflect what you advise up to the conclusions and facts of which you advised the court, the dependency court, as of that date?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to show you what we're going to mark as whatever the court clerk tells me we're going to mark it as.
What's the next in the series for the defendants?
3328.
For ID.
For ID, it's not coming in evidence.
Correct. This is 3328 for identification. Let me just ask you, is that a true and correct copy of your report of October 13th, 2016?
Yes.
Can you hand that to me? Are you finished with it, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Hunter? Madam Clerk, it's two-sided, so just be careful.
And then after you rendered that report of 2006, these are new lips, I'm sorry, October 13th, 2016, after you rendered that report, did you continue an investigation as reflected in the report that you signed on December 2nd, 2016?
I continued my medical evaluation up to that point in December and gathered lots of additional records beyond what I had on October 15th. Yes.
Okay. And I have a badly marked up copy of what I'm going to ask be marked for identification as defense exhibit.
Well, is there already a specific exhibit number on that? Down at the bottom, Mr. Hunter, the first page, look at the first page.
December or the October?
December.
December is 3045. 146.
The answer to your question, my copy doesn't, but I trust Mr.
Mr. Hughes, will you say that?
Oh, every time I change the speed, it does the spinning wheel of death. All right, hold on. There's a couple comments I wanted to read. Alicia said, this was the issue with Dr. Smith. She was staff and part of this other department. It made it unclear which position and employer she was working for. Right. Although she seems to be clear about it. Active staff means active staff. Lorraine says, your makeup and your live and lightning bolts, lightning bolts, Sally Smith was perfect. I was rolling.
2016 preliminary report. It is defense exhibit number 3044. The
For ID, it's not in. It's just ID.
She's very blinded by her own bias, says Memyard.
December 5th, 2016.
She thinks she knows better than the specialists and other doctors, but yeah, she believes she's a savior to the kids. She does believe that.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, I apologize for that.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes.
And to the clerk for attempting to come up with the works one more time. Does your December 2nd, 2016 report, defense exhibit 3045, does it also reflect your opinions and conclusions as of that date regarding your investigation?
Regarding my medical evaluation, yes.
Okay. And just if you would briefly tell the court what your opinions were regarding this matter as reflected in that report.
As reflected in that report, it was my conclusion that there was what we call positive findings for medical child abuse, and that the medical record review and the history taking and that kind of thing that I had reviewed provided very strong evidence to support that conclusion.
Was there any conclusion, and is that the conclusion of medical child abuse would colloquially be known as Munchausen by proxy?
Yes, and I believe it's even in the what we call the impression. That was my conclusion in the report. I put in parentheses Munchausen syndrome by proxy because that's kind of a well-known term for this situation.
Okay. And did you reach any conclusion regarding conversion disorder?
Yes.
And what was that?
It was my opinion based on all of the observations of the various medical staff and team and staff members, et cetera, as well as based on multiple other physicians' reports that I had reviewed that she had a conversion disorder. It's actually called a functional neurological disorder now, but at that time it was called a conversion disorder.
When you say she, you refer to Maya Kowalski?
Maya Kowalski, yes.
In reaching the conclusions and opinions you've just expressed to us, how many pages of medical records did you review?
I don't know exactly as I sit here, but well over 2,000.
Okay. And I see you brought with you today a stack of 3, 4, and 5-inch binders that is on the table in front of you. Are those at least some of the records you reviewed?
Those are all the medical records that I printed. So there were some that I reviewed in the electronic medical record from Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital that I don't have copies of. But everything that I had a copy of in terms of all her medical records going back to actually her, first visit to the pediatrician up in Chicago is in those binders.
And did the material you reviewed also include certain online WordPress blogs that have been created by Veronica Walter?
Yes.
I believe that's all I have, Your Honor.
Mr. Anderson, do you have anything in proffer?
Dr. Smith, before, or let's say, right at the start of this, in the first part of October, you had a call with Dr. Kirkpatrick, did you not?
I did.
And Dr. Kirkpatrick explained to you that he had been treating Maya Kowalski for CRPS, correct?
He did.
And he told you that statistically speaking, CRPS is often mistaken for conversion or Munchausen by proxy, did he not?
I don't really remember exactly what his words were. I took a few notes from the conversation that I had with him, and I know that there was some general discussion along those lines.
And yet you did not put anything in your report about Dr. Kirkpatrick, did you?
Yes, I believe there's a whole section about his medical records.
Yeah, except for the fact that you did not tell anyone in that report that he had warned you off of going after the Kowalskis.
It's completely irrelevant for a child protection team medical evaluation because that's the whole point of the evaluation and gathering all the records. The problem in these cases is that the treating physicians have not done that. And so the fact that he, who sent her to Mexico for the ketamine coma, told me not to investigate child abuse, it was completely irrelevant to me because my job was to investigate child abuse.
Ugh.
So if I had come away from my job saying, I was supposed to do this, but this doctor told me not to, so I'm not doing it, and there's no evidence of anything here, I would not have been doing my job even remotely near a standard of care.
Do you not understand the importance of putting both sides of the story in your report?
The both sides of the story is the responsibility of the various people who are going to present it to the court. My job as the medical director for the child protection team is to do what I need to do to assist the investigators and the detectives and the attorneys that are involved in the case as to whether there is evidence to support a diagnosis of whatever type of child abuse is being assessed. So it's not my responsibility to lay out some whole long argument about what it might be otherwise if I have extensive evidence to support that it's a type of child abuse.
Dr. Smith, you know there wasn't a single child psychologist or child psychiatrist that diagnosed what you were claiming. You're aware of that, right?
That's also irrelevant.
So you are the ultimate decider of medical issues which you have minimal or no training in.
I have extensive training.
Yes, but
In-
you're not.
That's a proffer. You can answer, Dr. Smith.
I have extensive training in evaluating child abuse and neglect. Medical child abuse is a child abuse pediatric diagnosis. There is a parallel track in psychiatry where there's a thing called factitious disorder imposed on another, which is assessing the perpetrator or the caretaker in that scenario. But I don't need a psychiatric degree to assess medical child abuse. I'm very well trained to evaluate medical child abuse based on my child abuse pediatrics experience and board certification.
Well, there's not a single child psychologist or psychiatrist that agreed with you. You do realize that, don't you?
No, I don't.
Oh,
Well, name a child psychologist or psychiatrist that examined Maya Kowalski who agrees with you.
oh.
Well, that wasn't their job to write in the report whether there's medical child abuse. So that specific thing documented by, for example, Dr. Cavett or Dr. Katzenstein, I don't know. Honestly, I'd have to look back to see if they ever documented that as one of their diagnoses. But that's not their job. My job is to assess that, and if I present adequate evidence to the court can act on that. So the court has every ability to pull all these people in, including Dr. Kirkpatrick, including Dr. Hannah. I think they testified in the dependency action. And if the judge decides that there's serious question about whether I'm right, then the court makes that decision based on the evidence that they receive. That's not my job to litigate the whole thing.
Except that the judge always does what she wants him to do. Always. You guys know we've been reading the juvenile dependency court transcripts. That judge had his mind made up from the very beginning. He had it totally made up. He knew he was going to side with the state. He even told the lawyers, both of those judges did, the female judge and Judge Hayworth told the lawyers, what we're going to trial. It doesn't matter what happens in this evidentiary hearing. We're going to trial. The state's not going to drop this. He had the ability to say, this is garbage and you need to give her back to her family. And he never did. He had his mind made up. And she has never, I bet she's never had a juvenile court judge disagree with her. I mean, I don't know, but my guess is that at least 90% of the judges that she goes in front of and puts her hearsay reports in probably just go with what she says, because that's what juvenile court judges do. They don't. You've seen us reading Judge Hayworth in the juvenile transcripts. I'm folding laundry here, folks. I'm multitasking. I have folding to do. You've seen it. The judge just does whatever the county or the state wants. I mean, oh God, if you have missed, by the way, the read-throughs, please don't go back and watch them. We have so far done we started at the end because that was the only one I had from January, but then we started again at the beginning. So we did the one from October, the shelter hearing. Then we just did part 1 of the November 8 hearing, and we're going to finish it this Wednesday. I think Wednesday. Well, it depends. I have to look at my schedule because I just got a new case that I'm looking at. You guys have got to hear about, and a bunch of you have sent it to me. Hold on, let me take this down. A bunch of you have sent it to me. It's the Hernandez family case that Spike Cohen has been tweeting about. And in fact, I just heard from the father. He believes that I was trying to get him to come on the show tomorrow, but he believes he's going to be arrested tomorrow. And so actually, I may cut this live short because I just got an email from him that says he can do it today. So I may just start a new live when I get. Let me ask him. Hold on. He's leaving his attorney's office soon. So what I may do is, depending on what I hear from him, we'll end this live and start a new one for the Hernandez family. They have a child. Let me go over that real quick, actually, because it looks like we might be doing that soon. Let's go over to Twitter. This is happening to another family now in Georgia. Their children have been taken away from them. They're being accused of child abuse, and now the mother's already been arrested, I believe, and the father believes he's about to be arrested. They, of course, did not place the children with family. They've taken them and put them in foster care because the baby has bruising and healing fractures, and they believe they have 2 doctors, 2 specialists who say that that this is a congenital problem. Like the baby has I think it's a boy. The baby, I don't know. I've got to look into it more because I just started looking at this. Hold on. Everybody is tagging me in this. Okay, here it is. Let's read through what was posted on Twitter because I really do want you guys to hear this story. I want to know more about it. I've gotten some of the documents and it's frightening. It's frightening what can happen. All right, this is done. This was put up on Twitter by Spike Cohen. Meet the Hernandez family. That's Matt and Tucky smiling with their beautiful young daughters. Over the past few months, the Georgia state government has ripped this family apart because one of their daughters has a medical condition that the court refuses to acknowledge. This all started when Matt and Tucky noticed some swelling in the lower legs of Emma, their infant daughter. They took her to a pediatrician who did some blood work and referred them to the ER. After an x-ray of her legs, the hospital's child abuse physician, again, another Dr. Sally, reported possible child abuse despite the fact that the blood work results indicate a genetic disorder as the reason for her injuries. Authorities seized Emma and placed her with her aunt and uncle. 2 weeks later, a caseworker visited the Hernandez home and determined that their older daughter, Aria, is obviously happy and well cared for. The next day, Tucky was arrested for battery and cruelty to children. Matt is not allowed to communicate with Tucky, and Tucky is not allowed to communicate with Matt or her daughters. Again, they're separating a married couple. Do you see how the state does this? They're separating mom and dad. They're making it so they can't talk to each other. While in the aunt and uncle's care, Emma developed a rash on her feet. The state took Emma from them and sent her to the hospital where she was put on a feeding tube and given other treatments, including vaccines, without any of the family's knowledge or consent. Emma and Aria were then placed with a foster parent instead of their aunt and uncle. At their first visitation, Matt noted that both Emma and Aria had signs of neglect, including cold, mottled skin, and discoloration on one of Emma's legs. The foster parent dismissed his concerns, and DFCS had no interest in hearing them either. After months of fighting to get copies of Emma's medical records, including from when he first took her to the ER, DCFS finally gave them to him, the records. 2 months later, at their first court hearing, medical experts testified that Emma has either neonatal rickets or osteogenesis imperfecta, both of which are medical disorders which cause the types of injuries that she has, and that there is no sign of physical abuse. The judge refused to admit their testimony, choosing instead to rely on the hospital's child abuse physician, who brought no paperwork and did not appear to understand these disorders. While this hearing is going on, Emma and Aria are transported to a visitation center to meet with Matt. But Matt's in court and obviously couldn't be in two places at once. The state either messed up their visitation schedule or intentionally scheduled it so he wouldn't be there. Aria was devastated. With each visit, Matt sees Aria become more and more withdrawn and depressed, and Emma becomes more injured and sickly. During one of the visits, when the caseworker came into the room, Aria got scared and ran behind Matt. The caseworker accuses Aria of being racist and smiles throughout the interaction, clearly enjoying the fear that she's causing. And just last week, Matt found out that his visitations are being cut in half, and they are moving Emma and Aria to a new foster family instead of back to their aunt and uncle. This case was brought to our attention by the Williams family, who was in temporary custody of Emma and Aria when their foster mother went on vacation. After seeing how much these girls want to go home, the Williams began to investigate and discovered the horrific tragedy that the state is putting the Hernandez family through. Despite their own policies and despite the fact that the caseworkers report states that reunification is the goal of this case, the state of Georgia has refused to acknowledge Emma's medical condition, choosing instead to assume that she's being abused and continues to prosecute Tucky and persecute the entire family. We hoped that these officials would do the right thing, but they seem to be hell-bent on destroying the Hernandez family. We are going to reunite this family, and here's how you can help. Email the officials I've listed in the next post of this thread and tell them to acknowledge Emma's condition, return Emma and Aria to their parents, and drop all charges. And be respectful. Don't give these people a chance to act like victims here. You know how much government officials love to make it about them. Don't give them that opportunity. And be sure to repost this so as many people as possible can help us reunite this family. So I am in contact with Matt. And here's the officials. Head of DCFS is Candace Brochi, and all of the information is on here. So I can give you guys the Twitter link if you want to email these people. And again, just make sure you do it as nicely as possible because they will claim that they're getting death threats. You know how they are. So you have to be as nice and as calm as possible. But these are the district attorney, the assistant district attorney, investigators, caseworkers, supervisors, county directors, regional directors. It is good for them to know that people are watching this. People are watching to see. I'm in contact with the father. He may come on this program today if he can. He's worried. He tells me he expects to be arrested tomorrow. I mean, they're just not listening. They have an attorney. They do. They have an attorney. So these are the children that DCFS in Georgia are claiming are being abused.
Thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for beautiful day, beautiful day.
Aw.
Giọt máu này hả?
The thing that kills me about this is that the state does not seem to have any interest in keeping children with their parents. I mean, this is the same thing that they did to Maya Kowalski. Instead of like working with the parents to discover what is wrong with the child. And I'm not sure if which one is which, like which kid did they take because of the, let's see, they took Emma, the infant. Okay, it was the infant that has the swelling and the possible rickets. Yeah, this is it's a terrible story. So I may, if I hear from Matt, what I may do is just shut this down and start a new stream so that we have a new title on it. I don't want them to get confused. I don't want their story to get confused with Sally Smith and Maya's story. Duncan, thanks for the super chat. Says, just a friendly reminder, the state is not your friend. It will take your things and tear your family apart if you're singled out for any reason. Don't vote to give the state more power. Yep, that's very true. Thanks for the reminder. It's just really sad that this is happening to this family right now, and we need to make sure we cover it. Duncan, Idaho, thanks for the super chat. Says, how much more of this thing are you planning to listen to again? Well, we might be finished. I want to, so it turns out that no, the answer is no. I don't think Sally Smith committed perjury. I just didn't remember that she said she was an active member of staff, which probably didn't help the defense's case very much. Because I think that allowed the jury to make the jump that she was part of the staff. She acted like a part of the staff. She absolutely made people believe she was part of the staff. And that's really all they needed to prove that agency. So but it's funny. I think because the defense spent so much time trying to separate her from J Hatch that I didn't remember her using that phrase. I did not remember her using that phrase, that she was active medical staff. Flux, this is a good question. Why is it always the foreign parents? Yeah, I do feel like the state may be taking advantage of people for whom, English isn't their first language, possibly. I don't know. All right, I do have some documents though. Let's see. While I'm waiting to hear back from Matt, I have some evidence in this case that has been shared with me. All right, here we go. All right. Here's the family's background. The mother's name is Wilariat. Oh, I can't say it. Wilariat Yotrugruang Hernandez, a U.S. citizen originally from Thailand. I have been married to Matthew Hernandez since 2012, and we have 2 children. We live in Georgia, USA. My husband and I have tried for several years to have children, and finally, in January of 2020, our oldest daughter, Aria, was born. She is healthy and happy. She's a healthy, happy little girl who enjoys dancing and swimming. After much prayer for more children, God blessed our family with another girl, Emma. She was born March 2023. She's a sweet little baby girl and so easy to care for. My husband and I want to have more children. I come from a large family with 3 sisters and 1 brother. My mother has 5 siblings and my father has 10 siblings. In Thailand, my family lives in a small town surrounded by many friends and family, grandparents, aunts, uncles, nieces, and cousins. After I graduated from university, I worked as a guest service agent at a Hilton hotel. I also volunteered in a daycare center and was trained to become an au pair. I'll live in nanny. When I came to the United States, I took care of children for host families before I met my husband. After 7 years of marriage, we finally have our own children, Aria and Emma, who are the first and only grandchildren from both sides of our family. We are so blessed and very excited to share the love of our family with their grandparents. We call the children's grandparents quite often and send pictures and videos. The nightmare we are living now. Our happy family's nightmare began when Emma was almost 3 years old. On June 6, 2023, my husband and I had our two daughters, Aria and Emma, taken from us at the Children's Hospital by the Division of Family and Children's Services. We took Emma to the hospital after noticing she had unexplained swelling on one of her legs, a leg which she never experienced any pain. Images were taken of Emma's leg and rib cage, and it was determined that she had a fractured leg and cracked left ribs. However, a report later stated that Emma had healing fractures on her left ribs. When the doctors examined Emma, she did not show any signs of discomfort when her leg and ribs were examined. Additional tests were performed, including blood work. However, we were not told at the time of the hospital visit any results from those additional tests. At the hospital, our daughter Aria was also examined by this hospital physician, and no indications of abuse were found. Within 2 hours, the doctors determined the cause of Emma's fractures was likely the result of abuse without any further investigation, and DFCS was called. That night, my husband and I had to sign papers giving custody of our little girls to the state. Oh God, they signed it. That's not good. This resulted in DFCS removing both Emma and Aria from us at the hospital. Oh God, I wish they hadn't signed it. Our two children were then placed in the custody of the children's aunt and uncle. On June 22, 2023, I was shocked when I was accused of abuse of my 3-month-old daughter Emma, and subsequently arrested and incarcerated. I have since bonded out of jail, but I am not allowed to go to my home or see my children or my husband because of my bond conditions. This seems to be in violation of my basic rights as a U.S. citizen. This situation is tearing me and Matthew apart and causing extreme stress for both of our children, especially my baby Emma, who was 100% breastfed prior to all of this. On July 10th, 2023, why are all these child abuse doctors like this? Why are they so incurious? You know? Like what? Why? I don't understand why they're so incurious. Yeah, someone at the hospital called DCF before investigating for the osteo imperfecta. Yeah, bad medicine. You should be running down every single possibility before calling the state on someone. This is not medical care. This is laziness, is what this is. Laziness. All right, continuing on. On July 10th, the children's aunt discovered what appeared to be a rash or bruising on Emma's right leg at the bottom of her foot. DFCS was called, and the aunt and uncle were told to take Emma back to the children's hospital. At this time, the doctors again said Emma had been abused and removed my two daughters from my sister and her husband, and they were then placed in the care of foster parents who are total strangers. Really? They're not only being abused by their parents, but now the aunt and uncle are wow. This is an entire family of abusers? Wow. That's crazy. And you know what? They don't get the money released if they don't put the kids in foster care. So if they go to family, there's no money involved. They can't get those funds released. So it's in their interest to take them away from the relatives and put them with strangers.
Because you are a corrupt person. You're the most corrupt.
Yeah, it's horrific.
You know, I can't deal with this. I'm going to nuke America.
I can't deal with this anymore. I just can't. It makes me angry. What kind of moron at DCFS, or whatever they call it there in Georgia, thinks that it's possible that these parents are not only abusers, but her sister and brother-in-law are abusers too? Instead of being like, oh, whoops, we made a mistake. There's problems now with the baby still, so it can't be abuse. Whoops, it's obviously a medical problem. The hell? Both girls are frightened and not understanding why they can't be with their parents. The ongoing court hearings to determine the fate of our daughters has left us in shock. DFCS has changed their decision of reunification to non-reunification. Oh, God. And not giving any reasons for this. We had two expert witnesses during the adjudication hearing. A forensic pathologist testified Emma's documented Vitamin D deficiency could be the cause of her present condition, and a geneticist determined Emma is suffering from neonatal rickets, hyperchloremic acidosis, which can cause the small fractures that showed up in the x-rays at the hospital on June 6, 2023. This seems to point in the direction of the cause of Emma's problems and not abuse. However, during the adjudication hearing, this testimony was discounted. We are currently asking the court to allow Emma to be genetically tested for a wide range of hereditary diseases that includes Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. That's that thing that Dr. Chopra is an expert in. Duncan, Idaho, thanks for the super chat. Oops, I already read that one. You get another one. KBF, thanks for the super chat. Says, I suspected another case of brittle bone, and yep. I mean, this is they should rule that out first before any of this. All right, hold on. I've heard from the family. Hold on. Let me see. Free now. Okay. Hold on. What should I do? Should I shut this one down and start a new one? Or I don't think I can change the thumbnail and stuff. So I don't want to, I think I should shut it down and start a new one. Will you guys come back? Will you all come back? All right. All right, hold on. We're going to talk to the father. I just have to get it. All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to stay here with you for a minute. I'm going to go make a thumbnail for the new show. Got to do that first. Okay. Oh yeah, raid to the new stream. I can do that. I just have to set it up first. So hold on. Let me go over to let me make a thumbnail. And then I'll set up a new stream. You guys want to watch me make a thumbnail? This is always fun. All right, let's do a brand new one, shall we? Should pick a new template. Which one do we like today? God, there's so many. Well, there's a lot of pink and purple in their photographs, so let's do this. Let's do... No. Maybe this one. All right, let's get rid of him. Let's... upload. What is this weird thing? Let's get rid of that. Gallery. There we go. No, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. We got to move this. Oh, this is annoying me. Make it bigger. All right. Don't want that over her face. Let's move this. I hate this background. There we go. Let's make it white, shall we? And I don't like this background. Let's get rid of that. Okay. All right, there we go. We'll do this instead of new. We'll do Hernandez family. All right. There we go. All right, that's good enough. I'm not picky. Oh no, I want to have to download that. All right, hold on. Let me do that. Hold, please. Let's put on some music while I'm doing this. There we go. So you have something to listen to. All right. Gotta download this now. Save to folder. No, I want to download it. And then I gotta go set it up on Rumble, and I gotta go set it up on YouTube. It's a whole thing. Page 2. Yes, download. Save as. Can we put it there? Save. Save? No, can't put it there. All right, fine. Pictures, can I put it there? Yes. All right. Now I got to go to Rumble and set it up there. And then I can redirect all of you. Don't go away. Why are you all going away? You said you would stay. Don't go away. All right, let's see. I know this is annoying, but I have to do it. This is how the sausage is made, people. This is it. This is how the sausage is made. Why isn't Rumble coming up? Rumble, let's go. No? Huh, can't reach this page. That's unfortunate. Come on, is Rumble down? What the hell? Rumble, what happened to you? Rumble's not loading. This is weird. This is very weird. All right, let me try something else. All right, other sites are working. So what's going on, Rumble? Come on. Load. Rumble is not working. Okay, I guess this stream is not going to be on Rumble unless I can get it up and working. So let's go to StreamYard and just do it. It's going to have to just be YouTube for now. That sucks. New medical kidnap case, the Hernandez family. All right. I gotta go to my YouTube blurb and copy and paste. It's a whole thing, people. This is how it works. This is how long it takes to set up a freaking live stream. It's ridiculous. You like the music? It's not me, it's Rumble. Did Rumble just go down? Rumble is down. I wonder if my stream went down also. Because it disappeared and then I can't get back onto Rumble. Which is terrible. And also now we're having a problem with Google Docs. What is the problem? Seriously, what is the problem? Why all of a sudden? Okay, there we go. Copy, paste. Description. Family is in crisis in Georgia. Matt and Tucky Hernandez have lost their 2 children to false allegations, to what they say are false allegations of child abuse by a child abuse pediatrician. Matt Tucky joins me. All right. Schedule for later. Public. Yes, public. Start time. It's 1:50 right now. Let's say 2 p.m. 2 p.m. Upload thumbnail. There we go. Apply. Create live stream. Okay, now I can redirect you all. As soon as it's done creating, I can redirect you. Okay. Now I just got to get into the studio on YouTube, which I should have had open, but I didn't. This is a terrible story. I hate to hear these stories, you guys. I just hate it. It makes me sad. All right. Doing the redirect right now. Redirect, add. There we go. Save. All right, guys. I'm going to go. We're going to shut the stream down and raid my other stream. I will be up as soon as I can be, and we will continue this about the Hernandez case. Okay, guys? All right. I'm going to leave you with, we haven't done squats, so let's do some squats before we get out of here. And then I'll see you in 10 minutes over on the other stream. Where's my squats? Where's the squats? Nick Ricada is going to fat shame us for 1 minute and 21 seconds, and then the stream will end. Here we go.
You impose fatness on you. You did it by going, oh, I want the butter on the popcorn. Oh, I want the butter on the ice cream. Oh, I want the butter on the sandwich. Oh, I want the butter on the salad. Stop eating butter. Can you just get up, walk 1 mile? 2 squats! Walk farther. And if you can't walk, crawl, roll, get dragged by a goddamn forklift. Whatever is wrong with you, just move. Ever. Get off the chair, get off the couch. No one is coming to service you while you sink into that furniture, while you become one with the pleather your poor ass got on that Walmart couch. Can you try not floating into sadness? Stop eating, stop drinking, start walking, start doing anything that you haven't been doing, you fat piece of shit.